progress.
There we go. Finally, we've got it. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our new formatted Thursday morning training and discussion. I'm really excited about this one because our topic is home meetings. And I was thinking, as you know, lockdowns are kind of calming down, and pandemic is calming down, and panic is calming down. Some of you, like our special guest here, Darlene, will maybe feel comfortable inviting people into your home. And small groups where you could social distance, wear masks, without masks, whatever is your comfort zone, and when it's your comfort zone. But I think learning to do home meetings is a very valuable part of our business model. And Darlene, you're having such great success. You're kind of our nudge. You started talking, well, I had another home meeting. I signed up 5 more people. And I'm going, wow, maybe other people should be doing this. So I just like to invite you, Darlene, to share a little from your own, why did you start doing home meetings, and, share some of the success you're having. And then we'll go over the outline that we put together for everyone.
Okay. I was so successful doing the home meetings before COVID happened. I knew if I could do them again, I'd be successful. And people seemed to be so tired of the Zooms. I was doing some Zoom meetings and really struggling to get people to attend. And I decided it's just time. And people were very excited to be able to socialize again, get out. And the ones that I have had since COVID's kind of opened up a little bit to be more social, I've had 100% sign up at my meetings. And that was just amazing. It made me get excited again about talking to people. And before I really started getting them back into a meeting situation where we could talk one-on-one and they could ask their specific questions, I was just really struggling trying to get them to connect on a doctor's meeting because they didn't really know that much. And so they just didn't want to do that. So once I got them to a home meeting, and then it was easy to get them to connect to a doctor meeting or the Monday morning chat, or go to the YouTube and watch the ones that were already recorded.
That's beautiful. And so, we are in the relationship business, and the goal is long-term mutually rewarding relationships with your friend, with your customers, with your distributors, with the company, with your upline, crossline cousins, and everybody. But relationships are best built in the home, aren't they?
They really are. It works so much better when you can talk face to face with people.
And there's a big momentum of people going to home meetings, whether it's Tupperware or Mary Kay or baskets or candles. Let's face it, more of the women than the guys, but the guys sometimes get dragged along, especially if it's a wine meeting or something like that. But, that's where a lot of our industry, the direct sales industry, is driven. And I think prior to COVID, it was the fastest growing segment of the direct sales industry was the home meeting portion of the industry. And, I think history will probably repeat itself. So what I'd like to do is share with everyone an outline we came up with, and this is available for you. And, thank you, Darlene, for being the catalyst and a real driving force in this. We produced a very simple outline that's a little 2-page description of a stem cell education home meeting. And, the general consensus with our leaders is that positioning it as a stem cell education was a strong way to discuss it, not a phototherapy seminar or stem cell education is intriguing. So there's a few different segments, and we'll go over this briefly, but there's the invitation, the preparation, the actual presentation, and then the follow-up after the meeting. So, just briefly, I'm going to run through these because I want to leave enough time for some Q&A. But in the invitation, again, we've we've kind of come with the recommendation. This is your call because it's your meeting, but position your meeting as an informative stem cell education meeting. Okay. And you can invite people via phone, email, text, postcard, pre-printed invitations, or via meetups. We're going to have more and more support materials. We don't have a lot of support materials yet, but we do have a video that you can play, and we'll go over that. And I think the important thing, and you said this, Darlene, is keep it fun, keep it simple. And so I know, do you want to comment on how you invite people to get to your meetings?
I do it several different ways. I do go to a lot of networking meetings throughout the month. And so if I meet someone new and they seem to be a good fit, I will just personally invite them. But I usually print up some half-page invitations that have the day, the time, the address, just a little bit about stem cells, and hand those out. And I've handed them out at the grocery store, church, different meetings that I go to. I belong to a couple of different clubs, and it's just been pretty easy to get people invited. I like to try to keep it to 8, 10 at the max, people that will attend. And it's been, I get more people invited, and then it's like still several days to the meeting, and I've got to stop inviting because I don't want too many.
That's great. And just so everybody knows, on Thursdays, we're now going to be topic driven. And one of the upcoming topics is going to be contacting and inviting. We'll have a whole training just on that. There's so many ways to do it. But so then the preparation, we've come up with a list of suggested handouts. The gift of good health sheet or the sample card, or maybe nice handouts to have. There's a wonderful stem cell article that Robin helped to write. The executive summary is also a valuable tool. You want to have order forms and distributor applications, and there'll be more information, coming. So, the important thing is getting people there. And then getting the room set, and you may do this with a laptop or a tablet or a computer, optional stream to a flat screen TV. But as we get into the outline of the meeting, you'll understand. Important thing is Darlene's recommendation, and many others concur, is you want comfortable seating and water, but this is not it is a social event, but you don't want a big spread of food. I don't think you really necessarily need beer and wine or beverages. You want to keep it simple, because if it's simple, it's duplicatable. If you put out a big luscious display of food, people are, going to think, well, that's what they need to do. I think having a Lifeway banner and display table is optional, but there's a little bit of preparation necessary, and knowing who's going to, who's going to be doing the presentation. Any comment on preparation you want to share, Darlene?
No, it just can be super simple. Don't make it hard. The simpler it is, the better it seems to go for me. You don't have to get dressed up. Just look nice, business casual, because most people come very casual. And if you're all dressed up, they're going to think, oh my gosh, I didn't dress up. So just make it easy.
Mm-hmm. Because one of the things we'll get into at the end is you want to make it look so easy that there will be an invitation at the end that if any of you would like to do a meeting like this at your home, I'd be happy to come do it for you and with you. Mm-hmm. So the presentation is, we try to keep this very simple, and and visualize, the host welcomes everybody as they arrive. And if the host and the speaker are different, as you shared, Darlene, in the beginning, your sponsor, Karen, used to come over and do the meetings for you. So you were the host and she was the speaker. Now you've got it down. So the host and the speaker are the same person. I wanted to point that out because a little confusion. Well, what if we don't have a speaker? Well, it's you, So, and when you begin the meeting, you call everybody to order. Personally, I think it's important to start on time, maybe a minute or two, but when you say it's a 7 o'clock meeting, it should be a 7 o'clock meeting. And maybe there's somebody else greeting at the door and let the latecomers in. but this way it's very respectful for people that are on time to start on time. And, typically, the host would share why they're so excited, which I'm sure is your natural process, Darlene. You just share why you're so excited and the results you have been having with LifeWave.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if the speaker is different than the host, like in the beginning, Darlene introduced Karen. And since Karen doesn't need to come anymore, now Darlene shares her testimonial, why she's so excited, asks the guests to briefly share their name and why they came, and with emphasis on brief. But I think it's important for people to give voice to themselves, going around the room. Yeah, my name's Gregory, and I came because Robin told me I had to, or because, I'm interested in learning about stem cells, or because of this, but name and why they came. So everybody, has heard everybody's name. I think it's nice to have name tags also. And then optional program that we've seen work very successful in numerous situations. Before we get started, is there anybody that has some serious pain they're dealing with right now? And if there is, and this is optional, that's why it says optional. There's a number of optional things. You could bring out your IceWave and patch them. Now, X39 is the foundation, but we do know that IceWave gets almost 100%, 90% quick instant results, or results within the first 5 or 10 minutes. And that kind of sets the stage, and sometimes people come up and instantaneously, it's like the first meeting Robin and I ever did, Dr. Nicholas, our sponsor, says, well, you want to patch somebody. Ask them if anybody's got pain in the room. We're going, oh my God, what's going to happen? This woman came up, she had pain. She limped up to the front of the room. Robin patched her with IceWave, and literally you could watch her face just turn to a smile. She goes, oh my, I feel like I could go dancing. It's like, it was crazy. We couldn't have staged it. It was amazing. So, but then the good thing we've done with the meeting is we made it highly duplicatable. And this is what we used to call a power play. You push power and you push play, is because we created a video for home meetings, and it's now available. You can check it out. It's at liveyoungerreplay.com. Recorded yesterday, hot off the press. And I'm sorry to say my cat interrupted it. So you'll hear a little meow in the background, and we'll get a better recording soon, but it's pretty good. And it's broken into 3 segments. There's the first 6-minute segment, which is just me going over the intro of LifeWave, stem cells, the company, and David. And some people like Darlene, you just stop it right there. So she doesn't show the 3-minute video because she says a lot of her people have already seen the 3-minute video. But some of you may want to play the 3-minute video, and we combined the 3-minute video with the 8 benefits that come right after that. So that really kind of sets it up for, someone, if you're brand new, you may not be comfortable doing all of the presentation. The more experienced you are, the less of the video you'll need. But I think doing the video in the beginning just kind of sets a professional stage. Okay. And then, the third part of the video, and you'll see in the video, it says, a slide says part 2, 3-minute video and benefits. And then after that, it says part 3, getting started options. So the goal is you'll be able to stop the video wherever you want. And in a future upgraded version of that video, there'll be a longer pause to allow you to get to the computer to stop it if you want to. So this is a work in process. And but I think there's enough here for anybody to get started, because I know, Darlene, you were just using the first 6 minutes from the Tuesday night calls, right?
That's what I was doing in the beginning. Yes.
Yeah. So now we got a targeted place that you can just go to liveyoungerreplays.com and download you can play it straight from there, or you can actually download it, the MP4 file, to your hard drive and play it right from your computer. If you're tech savvy, you might be able to stream it to your big screen TV. But, really, in a small room of people, on a laptop screen would be sufficient to show that. So I'll take a breath. So anything you wanted to comment thus far, Darlene?
It's not, you don't have to be that tech savvy to put it on your big screen TV, because if I can do it, almost anybody can do it. And it's not that hard.
And then the next part's when the juice really starts flowing. Q&A, people start talking about it. And then there should be some group sharing of stories. If ideally you've got one or two other customers or distributors in attendance that are having results, nothing sells like stories and results. And we do keep a focus on X39. And so you want to coach your if you have people giving testimonials, if they could keep the focus on X39, it's going to make things grow and go a lot faster. You could optionally use some of the InTouch testimonials. That gets a little trickier because it's on your phone. There is going to be an InTouch computer app pretty soon, so we'll be able to use the testimonials from InTouch right on your computer screen. And then at the end is the invitation to join as a customer or distributor. You can explain the getting started options. You can pass out applications and order forms and say the meeting formally ends now. If anyone that would like to. So Darlene, do you want to share how you end the meeting and turn it into, collecting, completing orders and collecting the order forms?
Okay. After all the questions have been answered, people just kind of automatically start filling out their order form and handing it to you. Some of them get kind of anxious and they're really, I want to get signed up now. And so if you don't have too many people there, you can go ahead and really talk to them about that. But I really like to just kind of collect them, tell them I will put it into the computer after the meeting's over with, and set up a time to really kind of go over the preferred customer program with them so that they understand all of the different aspects of that. And if there's someone who wants to stay after people start leaving, then I've had that happen almost every meeting. One couple or one person will stay, and I just go ahead and go over all that with them right then.
Great. And then it's the end of the meeting. Ideally, maybe there's a next meeting date. I don't know. Do you tell people when your next meeting is, or do you notify them later down the road?
If I have it already set up, yes, I do, because usually there's people saying, I want to invite so-and-so. So yes, it really does help if you have your next meeting set up.
I learned one of the success tips I learned years ago, never end one meeting without scheduling the next. And the ideal scenario is, as you just said, at the end of the meeting, oh, by the way, we're having another meeting, and it might be at somebody else's house, and maybe we're having another meeting next week. It's going to be at so-and-so's house, but you're all invited if you'd like to bring a guest. So, one of the things you want to do is say, by the way, if anyone would like to have a meeting like this in your own home and potentially start earning some supplementary income or earn enough, get your products for free, talk to me afterwards, because I'd be happy to help you get that going in your own home. And that's what you want to do. Some of the very successful home meeting strategies say you should try and get at least 1 to 3 bookings at every meeting. So this will evolve as we go, but we just have something really good to get started with. The next section is after the meeting, new customers and distributors. You want to help them place their orders, send out the welcome letters to customers and distributors. You can send them some additional InTouch videos while they're waiting for their order to arrive. If they came in as a distributor, you want to make sure that you send them in the getting started letter, in the welcome letter, it has our quick start checklist. Excuse me. And then follow up with the others that didn't attend. Hey, I'm sorry you couldn't make it to the meeting, Tim, or Helen, but we had so much fun, and that we decided to do another one next week. So maybe that would work out better for you. So just because they didn't come the first time doesn't mean they won't come the next time. So I think we covered enough here. I'd like to kind of stop it and open it up for a little Q&A. We went a little longer. We try and theoretically, we want to keep the first half of these Thursday 30 minutes of business trainings for training and the second half for Q&A, but there was a lot to cover on this one. So I'll take a breath and open it up. If you'd like to raise your hand or just chime in, Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much. This is so encouraging and timely and just awesome. I am just overwhelmed. My question is, if I truly believe that this business is doable for anyone, and when you apply that to home meetings, my question is, do you have any helpful suggestions for people out there who may have some limiting beliefs about whether they're able to overcome their circumstance, and maybe they don't necessarily have a gift of hospitality, or they get in their mind, oh my gosh, my home is not adequate. Maybe looking at your environment and saying, you know what, this is doable. How to overcome that and be a source of just like, you know what, I know I'm new to this, and yeah, maybe I need to clean up my living room, that kind of thing. And in presentation, is there any suggestions about to those who may be having some difficulty getting past any of that, to be able to actually go ahead and invite people? Because that's really stepping out of some boxes. Putting yourself out there. Do you have any encouragement or recommendation?
Go ahead, Darlene.
It really is easy. And I have told several of my distributors, if you would feel more comfortable having your people come to my house, I'm open to that. So maybe your upline would feel comfortable letting you invite people over, and then she's there to really help you get going on your first meetings. Another option would be, I know here a lot of the libraries have a room that you can use, and very nominal fee, if a fee at all. If you have someone who lives in an apartment building, they might have a community room that can be used. So there's a lot of different options that you can come up with to find a place to have a meeting. I know it's almost getting more winter type weather, but during the spring and summer, you could have a meeting outside on your deck or patio if you don't feel like your home inside would work well.
Beautiful.
Good, thank you. I just, the accessibility of this to everyone is just so important.
Oh, thank
and
you.
That's what I like to focus on. Network marketing is accessible to everyone, and everyone can be successful in it.
Thanks, Jennifer. And Pamela, you had a question for us.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that, Jennifer, possibly having a buddy system would be a good idea, because then the person wouldn't feel like they're alone. So find somebody that agrees with what's going on for you, and then be able to do it with them would maybe be a good idea. That's because I have done home parties before in the past, and I was very successful. And I'm very new to this, so I so appreciate everything that you're doing, and this is amazing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, the time has come. So,
yes.
Yeah, beautiful. And we got time for one or two more, a couple of more questions. Who's got another question for us?
Gregory, I put a question in the chat. This is Michelle. How long are your meetings, Darlene, usually? Do you tell people they're an hour?
We tell them that the meeting's going to last just about an hour, and Most of the ones since COVID came out, the ones that we've just been doing recently, have been very close to an hour, maybe 5-10 minutes going over, but no one seems to be concerned about that. And lots of them say, I want to stay longer. So the ones that want to go home,
that
the
was my
meeting is
next.
pretty much done. And the ones that want to stay, they're more than welcome to stay. We'll answer more questions. We'll help them get their paperwork all filled out, whatever they want.
Beautiful.
Okay, beautiful. What's the longest your meeting has gone in terms of just the people staying over and wanting to continue to work on their applications? What's the longest you've ever
I've
people
had
stay?
people stay another 30 minutes easy.
Mhm.
Okay,
And before
Okay.
COVID, when the meetings were bigger, it was taking closer to 2 hours. But we
Mhm.
were having 10 people and that was kind of chaotic. So I really like keeping them a little bit smaller.
And it's the
Great.
meeting
Thank you so
after the
much.
meeting. It's the meeting after the meeting when the business happens. That's the
Mhm.
fun. Yeah. Yeah. Who else? Who else?
Hey,
Helen, go
it's
ahead.
Helen.
Hi,
It's
Helen.
Helen. But I just want to say, yay, Darlene, you're an amazing role model. We love you so much. You're the best business cousin for partying ever.
Oh, thank you.
And kudos to all the people who did meet once a week to help put this together too. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, thank you. There was a whole group
Yeah.
of us that got together once a week for about 4 or 5 weeks, just going over the fine points of detail. And many hands, the collective wisdom of the group triumphs again. And Darlene was the nudge that put it in motion. I got to give her credit. And Darlene, I also want to give you acknowledgement. You were chatting last night. You've been so successful in enrolling customers with this special we have, the fall sprint. You were thinking you might have 60 points already. Is that right?
Yes, I went through and put a tally mark for every one of my preferred customers that orders every month. And I came up with 60 points already. And
Woo!
I've got 2 or 3 new people that are ready to get signed up. And I've got a distributor thinking about upgrading to Diamond. So I'm excited. When they first announced that contest, I thought, oh gosh, how am I going to get those points? But then when I really looked at what it is how you make your points, I thought this is going to be easy.
Yeah, customers rule. That's awesome. Any last question or two? Yeah, go ahead, Sybil. Uh-huh.
Okay, they always say, put your hand down before I can even talk. So I'm gonna, does that put it down? Oh, no.
Don't
it's
worry
hard.
about that.
Oh, well.
Don't worry about it.
I just want to say that in the early 90s, when I got into natural health and herbs and all, I was encouraged to do what they called an herbal hour. And I was painfully shy, and all the topics that we talked about, especially like detoxing and bowel movements, embarrassed me. It was awful. It was so awful. And I thought there's no way I could ever talk. But we got a script like this and had like 10 little herbs to talk about and some pictures. And I did some home meetings, and I thought I wouldn't be able to talk, and then I got invited to do one at a church and it was packed. And I thought, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. But once I started talking, my passion and enthusiasm just took over. And one of the pastors raised his hand and said, are you going to give an invitation? Because I was talking about taking care of our temples, taking care of our bodies and making good choices about health. And so we're watching these webinars and videos and we're thinking, oh, I want my upline to do that for me. I don't think I can do that. But once we actually start it, it's just, I know it's going to be so fun.
Mhm.
So yay.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Paul, you got your hand up. We'll take one more question and we'll call it a wrap today.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Good.
sure.
Hey, this is awesome and very timely. I just wanted to share that we've had 2 events. They weren't in the home, and we were kind of tracking on this of doing an RSVP invite only 10/12. It was at a little health food store in the community. And we've closed 100% the 2 times we've had it. We haven't had a lot of invite. We're working with our team to get that on the increase. And so we were using the 3-minute video, and then we would just go right to the 18-minute video. Valerie and I would do the introduction and, tried to get all of that done in 5 minutes, get to those 2 videos. And it was just a natural transition because David answers some questions and then had Valerie stand up and say, anybody got questions? And there was always a couple, but then the question would come, how much is it? And so it was just a really natural flow. We were able to get in and out in 45 minutes. In both of those events in the last 60 days, we closed at, like I said, 100%. And now we're reshaping our living room and got our TV up on the screen and moving, because I think, as y'all have said, it is an intimate setting. It's controlled. We are all thriving for the community. And man, what a great message to be able to bring and say, hey, I've got good news. I've got some really good news. You can put a patch on and stimulate your stem cells. In this world where there's not very much good news, I've got some, and that kind of energy. So this outline that you've got coming, or that is out there, is just so on time for us. It's great seeing you. Thank you for all you do every day in helping us be successful.
Well, thank you, Paul. What a great ending. Boy, I couldn't have planned it better. That's awesome. We do have good news. We're turning back our clock. In the world full of challenges, there's also opportunity.
That's right.
So, this recording is on Facebook. It'll be in our Live Younger YouTube tomorrow, and I'll be posting the outline and the video link in our Live Younger Facebook group here within the hour. So thank you, everyone. If you'd like to unmute and say goodbye, this is a good time to do that, and we'll call this call complete.
Thanks, Gregory, for everything you do for us.
Thank you.
Great call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do it, Michelle.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job,
Thanks
everybody.
from Virginia.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Darlene.
Where do I go from?
I
Okay.
tried.